Yes, yes, people, welcome back to another stream, and it's another American Dream. Rah, that rhymed. I didn't even realise that was going to rhyme, but I'm actually already pretty buzzing with that, to be honest with you. That's a great start to the show. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, man. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well, as tonight we're going to turn our attention to the title race, as well as speak about Tottenham Hotspur crumbling 3 losses in a row, and they face Manchester City in their next game. And to join me to discuss all this, we do have Jacob, United Spurs of America. We'll be going live after this stream as well. Away from the football, because we will get into that in a second. Jacob, are you well?
Life, I'm too blessed to be stressed. Unfortunately, such a large part of my life and my emotions depend on 11 strangers across the world, and quite frankly, they're making my whole family suffer today because I got the stinky robe out. So this is the robe of defeat. You will see it whenever we are losing. And look, that's 3 now. At least it's winter time and it ain't too hot.
Very good, very good. We're also joined by top of the league merchant, Southern Gooner, Matt. top of the league, bro.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks until this thing gets sorted out. You know, I know better. Yes, we are top of the league, and of course, you know, I'm gonna be shameless and say, I'll take it however we get it. But realistically, yesterday's performance was not good at all. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but we still got a little bit of cleaning we need to do around the house. So
cool. And you're well, bro? You're good?
I'm doing well, man. I'm good to go, man. I am enjoying a nice rainy day in the South. Kind of feels a little bit like I'm across the pond today. But, you know, it is what it is. I got my hot chocolate. My Patriots let me down earlier, so all I can do is go back to Arsenal, man. So
yeah, man. Yeah, that's top of the league. But let's fire straight back to Jacob.
Well, how are you, LB? Before we start, I know you
how
want
about
to
you,
get to
bro?
talking about Tottenham. Let's ask you, how are you doing, man, outside of ball?
Very fucking kind of you, mate. As honestly,
Need a hug, man?
Yeah, listen, I've been the chat now, man. I'm in bits here. You know what I mean? My back, you know, this area here, woke up dodgy yesterday. Yeah, I should have took the day off, didn't, was silly, went to the gym, made it worse, and we still got the pain. You know, you say too blessed to be stressed. Yeah, I'm thinking of something.
Insane in the back.
I don't know what to say. But yeah, man, I'm in a bit of pain, but hopefully, like, it's better than yesterday, man. So hopefully by the time we get tomorrow, we'll be fine. But thank you, bro. That's very kind of... I don't know whether... Does that come from a genuine place, or are you just trying to delay the inevitable?
Well, you know, you asked me how I'm doing outside of ball. You asked Matt. I figured, hey, someone better ask LB before we get to the nitty-gritty of all this. Just see how you're doing, man. But, hey, that is a part of growing up. I'm not going to air out your logistical details or anything like that. But I know for me, when I approach a certain age... You just wake up and it's every day. It's like, is this a today pain or is this a forever pain? Yep. And you work through that. You'll find out that hopefully it is just a day pain for you.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that. You've really sold it. You've really sold it.
There you go. I'm looking forward to that for you.
Big up to everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you are hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. The 2 boys, the links are in the description. Southern Gooner and United Spurs of America. But Jacob, listen, we have to speak on Spurs. They got off to the season. Great start to the season, man. Top of the league, Ange Ball, Postecoglou this, Postecoglou that. The media was absolutely loving him. And the wheels have fallen off a little bit. That's 3 losses in a row. You face Manchester City next weekend. I'm pretty confident about the W. Well, I mean, what's happened? Is this all down to the injury? Are we putting this all down to the injuries, the suspension, or is there more to it than what we're looking at?
Well, I mean, I think we all thought that this stretch would be a difficult stretch with our strongest 11. Now, there's what I've referenced as a core 8 players that when you take one of them out, we're going to look vastly different. And 1 week, 4 of the 8 are gone. This week, we play with 5 of the 8 gone. So this is a result of something that I think we knew was coming once you scratched a little bit beyond our squad depth. So when you say the wheels have fallen off, I would say maybe a couple of wheels, yes, but it's not The car is still fixable. We just got to retrieve the damn wheels, grab them, put them on the car, then we'll be all right. And that's at least my theory. So, as far as my expectations for the season were never to challenge for a title. That would be just the highest form of delusional, I think, for me to say Ange Postecoglou is going to come in here and in 2 months have us firing on all cylinders. And even when we were top of the league, there was still every single match we allow chances for our opponent to score. We have to score. That the style lends itself. We have to score. I think within 60 seconds, they already had a chance to score Aston Villa today. So this is how we're playing. I see you sipping the wine, the big goblet. I see you with the car on fire. The car's not on fire. It's just a couple flat tires. Maybe one of the rims got bent. We got to maybe take it somewhere, get it fixed at, and hope that in January that wheel come back and the car can get off the road. So not a great day. I'll put it that way. Not a great day. But, there were still some signs that we are starting to believe in a style. We are starting to buy into this. And we saw that with Chelsea. I thought Wolves, we got away from it a bit. And we went to, let's just play how we think we can and manage this match. Whereas opposed to, if we're 1-0 up, we should still be going for the second. We didn't do that versus Wolves. I thought today, despite everything that we kept going for it, were we good enough? No. Was there enough quality at certain positions? No. But Ange Postecoglou was willing to switch things up and do things that Spurs fans have been asking for. Kulusevski, I do not like him as a right winger. He was moved today more central, and then at moments he also drifted up top and played almost like second striker alongside Sonny. So I think we're finding our best ways to utilize the tools that we do have. Heung-min Son had a hat trick of goals ruled off. I don't think that is indicative of Son at all. I've said the same thing about a lot of really quality players. When they have a bad match, it's not indicative of things to come. It's just that is what it is. And, today he did have chances where he could have been better. But some of those offside goals, that's just part of the game. And you got to be better. You have to be more clinical. Kulusevski had, I think, 2 shots hit the post. You got to either say we're just so bad on our luck right now or just we're not as good as we thought we were. And I think for me, I lie somewhere with both. There's both. There's truths in both. We're not as good as we thought we were because, of course, you take out, again, 5 of the core 8 that I like to call, we're going to look a lot different. So this is just a product of what we know was to come. And, Giovanni Lo Celso, props to him. This is a guy I've been very not nice to because I see him play with Argentina and I'm like, well, where's that guy? And then when he puts on a Tottenham Hotspur shirt, he just, and in the first, 10 minutes or so, I thought his body language was lending himself to do what I expected him to do, which is to just be a loather, bow-legged Jenkins walking around. And he was doing that a little bit, but then, it was like he started feeling the intensity of the match. And maybe there's things I'm trying to take away from this going forward. Look, we know no James Maddison. We know no Mickey Van de Veen. Outside of suspensions, there are some long-term injuries. We don't know what the prospect of Bentancur is going to be because he also took a knock in his first start since coming back from injury. Look, there's a lot of problems. Jay-Z, shout out Jay-Z. We got 99 problems, maybe 100. Probably about 100 problems. But, again, a few months into the start of something new, the turning of a page, and I knew that there would be hiccups in the road. Again, the car's not on fire, LB, so I guess that's the best way I could politely wrap up how I felt about it while taking my emotions out of it. Because, look, we should have won that, man. We should have been up 3-4 in the first half, but we can't finish our dinner. And that's been a symptom that we've had a lot. We create a lot of chances, but we don't finish them. We don't finish nearly enough, so... yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, you said there was a couple of cars still going. I mean, to be fair, there is still a couple of wheels on the back of the car here. You know what I mean? So
The engine?
the engine.
That engine doesn't look good. But then...
No. It might be rear wheel drive. It might have a rear engine.
Yeah, like a Volkswagen. Yeah, exactly.
It could be something like that, maybe. Matt, what's your take on this, on Spurs, bro? Is this sort of just expected? Maybe they have a bit of a overachieved at the start of the season. Are you quite surprised 3 L's in a row? Do you think it could get worse? What's your take on Spurs? Oh, you're muted,
You're
bro.
muted.
Yep. Quite frankly, man, I just feel like everyone's going to go through this at some point during the season. It's just about when you're going to go through it and how you get through it. I think those injuries really hurt them. They had a lot of momentum early out of the gate. I still think they need a few things they need to get sorted out. Watched them today. They were actually still in the game there. For even though the score reflected was a little bit different, but I don't see it as a cause for panic right now. They're just pretty much going through what, like I said, you're gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through it at some point. With us, I'm more worried about when we go through it. You all will cope with it a little bit better. You'll probably draw a game or two here or there. Looking at the table, is everybody's still competitive. So this is going to be, I always tell people that the league is a marathon and not a sprint. Nobody wins the title in September. Nobody wins in October. I've been trying to tell everybody the last 24 hours that the title was not won yesterday on my side of the aisle. But I think that Spurs, they're still trying to cope without Harry Kane. They're still trying to get things in place. This is his first season. People have to still remember that. So he's got to go through this phase of trying to get the team back on par after 3 losses on the bounce. What will concern me is if we're having this discussion again mid to late December and they're in a bad run of form, whereas they really hadn't got a win in the last 8 or 9 games. That's when you kind of go look like, okay, y'all might need to figure out something. But these 3 games, you lost to a Villa team that's what are they sitting in now, fellas? They are in what, 5th?
Fourth. They jumped us.
So I mean, you look at what they lost to today. They lost it to a team that was pretty much neck and neck. So this is a case of what I've been trying to tell people is that everybody's gonna be beating up on each other at least until about February, January, well, at least February, my estimation. And we'll have a clear idea after that January transfer window and who makes moves and where people are sitting at the table. Then we'll go from there. But even as an Arsenal fan saying this to a Spurs fan, I don't see the cause for chaos and panic with Spurs. I just think that a couple of injuries at the wrong time. You ran into a couple of good teams, and everybody's coming back off international break too, so that even adds to it as well. It's tough coming off of this international break. It's really, really tough because
there's a few reasons why also coming off of this international break specifically was a little tough for us to even field a squad. If you looked at our entire squad, you would see that there was 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and there was also an empty seat on the bench. Now, for me, this international break, Papa Matasar got his first international goal for Senegal, so congratulations. But then he ended up getting hurt, and then so that he missed this match, and that was not one of the injuries before this international break that we were even compensating for. And then also on top of that, the guy that I was asking for to start over Eric Dyer, that I would prefer to see have a spot anywhere in our squad other than Eric Dyer, was Ashley Phillips, which is a young kid that we signed from Blackburn over the summer, who's played with our academy, and he also picked up an injury for the U19s for England over the break. So even the guy that I was a long shot to even get a chance to start picked up an injury. It's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what we did to deserve this. What did we do wrong? Who did we wrong in a past life to deserve this run of form? But you know what? They say seasons can be a lot like a roller coaster, and instead of complaining about all the twists and turns, I guess I'm just going to try and enjoy it. It'll make that win that much sweeter. LB, I know you said you're confident going into the match versus Spurs, but I would say this much. If someone is writing the script for how this season plays out, isn't it aligning to where a city who shouldn't care about Spurs because the wheels have fallen off, that now maybe we can actually get a result away at City? Do you think that there's any realm? Look, I know it's not, I don't think City winning is 100% definitive. So I may say 90. Some may say 95, but there's still that little bit of percentage. And in my opinion, this is the most beautiful sport in the world for a reason, because anything can happen. I don't know why that thumbs up just went. There's some Mac update. Now, if you do too many hand gestures, things start happening with the camera. So sorry about that. But, I don't know why it does that.
It was perfectly timed, man. It was perfectly timed.
I didn't even give a thumbs up. When I do thumbs up, it doesn't even do it. I don't get it.
But it was just the Mac was just saying it's time for everybody in the chat to hit the like button.
Hit that like
yeah,
button.
man.
Yeah. That's exactly what that
No,
was.
but listen, I think he was unlucky today, to be honest with you. You should have been out of sight in the first half, 100%. You had so many chances, and like City yesterday, you've paid the price for not putting the ball in the back of the net legitimately. Obviously, we did it, got given a foul. You did it offside. Like, you've got to put the ball in the back of the net, and at this level, no matter who you're playing, it'll cost you. You know what I mean? It'll cost you. It cost us against Chelsea. It's cost us in the past. You've got to put the ball in the back of the net. For Villa, I think for Villa it was a massive, massive win. That really, for me, now solidifies them as a legitimate top 4 contender. They're now on 28 points, on the same amount of points as Liverpool. They've got cracking home form. We play them in a couple of weeks at their place. Really don't want to play them.
I think their away form as well. A lot of people were pulling at strings, I think, to try and find a way. Spurs, much like I just did previously with City, they were trying to find a reason. Oh, well, Villa's away form has been poor, and I actually don't think that that's true. When you look at Anfield and Newcastle, 2 of the hardest away fixtures for any club, they lost there, and then Nottingham Forest. So the Nottingham Forest, they could have just had a bad day, but. I was never like, oh, their away form is why Spurs could get a result. Yeah. And so I don't think that. I think that's a myth around Aston Villa. Look, they're a quality side. They've been continually improving, and I think that was on display. Look, Ben Davies, I don't want to single out one player for Tottenham Hotspur, but if you do watch the 2 goals, it's much like it was for Wolves. It's just you watch the 2 goals back, you say who was in and around the space. I know there's things leading up to preceding that event that can help dictate the occurrence of it, but for me, these are the same guys that have been letting me down year after year. It's how many times have I seen Davies let me down? How many times have I seen Dyer let me down, and Højbjerg and Emerson? I've seen it a lot, but I thought Ange Postecoglou gave it a go. He tried to do something with what he's got, which is Emerson, a right back playing at right-sided center back. He had a right winger playing as a cam. He was moving things. He had Giovanni Lo Celso, who I don't even know what damn position he plays, but he was actually okay today. So, he was trying. And that's more than because at least it wasn't the same tired 11 that I saw against Wolves. If I had seen the same exact 11 versus Wolves, I would have started to question Ainge and been like, what are we doing here? If we know the result of what that looks like, so let's try something different. And that's what he did. He gave it a go. And at the end of the day, we were unsuccessful. But I think once we get a lot of those core 8 back, slowly but surely, we'll start looking a little bit better. I don't think it's, like Matt was saying, I don't think it's cause for concern at this juncture. I think it's just an amalgamation of a lot of unfortunate events. And we're seeing the consequences of it.
No, I think that's fair. It'll be interesting to see how you bounce back now. 3 L's in a row never looks good for anyone. You've got City next week. I think we'll win that game. Then you've got West Ham. That's a tricky game midweek as well. Then Newcastle, another tricky game. So you've got a rough period, but you've got to come through it. You've got to try and come through it. And as Matt says, maybe if we get it in 3 weeks' time, we're still in this position and talk about L's, then obviously we're in a serious bad spot. But it's not, as you say, I was joking a little bit before with the car, but the car is in limp mode. You guys have limp mode, right, in America?
I don't know what that means, but I'll ride with it. I'll run with it.
It's like when something happens to the engine, and so the ECU will not allow the car to maybe go over like 4,000 RPM and like 30 miles per hour.
Oh, y'all have governors on your engines like that?
Yeah, is that not what's it called? What do you call it? Governors. What do you say?
That's like an electronic chip that limits what a car can do in certain situations.
Yeah, so if the car thinks that it's about to the car thinks the engine is like maybe run out of oil, so to protect itself, it limits the car from going over like 30 miles an hour. We call it limp mode.
Oh,
Like
you learn something new every day.
You ever done
that?
Yeah, we need that, man. Well, we need that.
Because ours will just run to the ground. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's like that.
It would just be like, well, guess what?
What the
Yeah,
hell?
I had a buddy who didn't know you had to change the oil, and he had a brand new Volvo one, and he drove it all through high school and didn't know you had to change the oil, and eventually it just caught on fire.
What the fuck?
It's kind of fun. Yeah, kind of fun. You gotta check on those things. Change
It
your
wasn't
oil,
like
everybody.
it wasn't like a Ferrari, no. That's
Nah, it was a Volvo sedan. He's a spoiled kid anyway.
fair enough. It's called limp mode everywhere. Yeah, I thought it was as well.
I've never heard it, but I'm smarter now because of it.
Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Let's get those likes up, man. We've only on like 20 odd, like 30 likes, people. So we need to get those likes right up. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's get us to 50 likes. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. And make sure you check out Southern Gooner. Link in description. And United Spurs of America. Link also in description. And Jacob will be going live after this. And you want to check it out, man, because his intro video. Bro, you know the other night, yeah? He was live. And I was like, I'm going to go to bed now. You know what I did? He was on stream. I clicked in. I watched your intro, and then I left. I went to bed.
Well, you watched the intro, and I'm sure you hit a like, so I appreciate it.
I hit the like. I commented because you said you got the Wi-Fi thing, right?
Yeah, the
that?
Wi-Fi signal
Yeah.
keeps it keeps doing the fake out to me, you know?
Yeah, so I said, yeah, you're fine. And then I was like, right, I'm going to go to bed now. But I had to watch the intro, man. He has got the best intro in the game, the tunes, everything, man. It's great. Right, let's move it on. Matt, Southern Gooner. Arsenal, top of the league, a late winner by number 29. Oh, are we allowed to call him by his name now?
No, he's still 29. He's still 29. Do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe, my friend. Do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Beverly Hills Cop reference for those who don't know. My favorite movie. Yep, we won yesterday. Well, let's be frank. That game was not a good game. We limped to a win, as you was talking about limp mode. We limped to a win yesterday. Go back and look at the goalkeeping on that. That was just shocking goalkeeping yesterday.
It wasn't. Yeah.
On both sides. I mean, I think what our fan base. I mean, did you see the scene? Did you all pay attention to how our fans were celebrating yesterday after that game?
They were singing the Kai Havertz song, weren't they? He scores again, but that was actually his first open play goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's his first open play goal for the year. They were jumping. It was almost as if we pulled away from City with 9 points away from City going into the end of April. I mean, it was. I don't see where our fan base has learned from last season, because last season we were at the top and we was cruising through the first half of the season. And then the wheels came off. This year, they're putting. I had to explain to someone earlier today. I did a match react, and I had to explain to somebody. Somebody in the chat said, "Well, we beat City this year. We beat City. We beat the European champions." And I had to explain to them. I said, "When did we start putting games of beating people in the same level as winning cups and stuff?" I mean, people act like you've won cups.
Well, if you don't mind me playing devil's advocate a little bit, because I, for one, was absolute limbs when we did get the game winner over Sheffield United, which was a horrible game. So I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of an Arsenal fan, which these shoes are too small and they're ugly and I would never wear them. But I'm just saying, surely they should enjoy a game winner. This is what I'm not saying you are a championship team, but a championship style team is built off of these type of ugly grinded out wins, game winner. I mean, I think if you're relying on Kai Havertz to save you, you're in a rough position to be in as a club. But I mean, from a fan's perspective, man, like I think that why shouldn't they celebrate? You know, a game winner is pretty late on in the match. It's got to feel pretty okay about that.
I mean, it's cool to get a win, man, but you have to look at this, man. I would have been, now if we pull that coming down the stretch, if we didn't won, the way we're grinding out games now, if we would have grinded those games out this same way towards the end of last season, we're having a completely different discussion. We're doing this at the beginning of the season, and our fan base is thinking that we're going to be able to keep this kind of stuff up the entire season. If you go back and watch that game, Everything that Arteta did the last few minutes of that game was just throwing anything at the wall to make it stick. We got out of jail yesterday. Brentford should have actually beat us yesterday if they ate their dinner. We should have lost that game 3-1, 2-3-1. This is a recurrent issue. We've been dealing with this for the last several weeks. This isn't a one-off deal. Look at the games we've been playing. We look horrible going forward. We had a striker come out this week, said he couldn't score. He still didn't score. Odegaard shows up. They say he was coming back from concussion. I question what the hell are you doing in practice to get concussions, especially somebody like Odegaard. Who is he running into? Because I he comes out there, he's gone ghost. Another week. This is week 4 or 5. He's just completely going out of nowhere. Soccer. People are going, oh man, he made the assist. Yeah, that's cool. But let's talk about his overall play. It was bad. It was shambolic. Martinelli, as Lee would say, running into blind alleys. Let's talk about Ramsdale yesterday. Yeah, because there was a big uproar over the national break about Mr. Ramsdale. Nick Ramsdale comes out. He's like, my son has lost his confidence. He doesn't know why he's out of the team. Well, he just needs to go put the first 10 minutes of that game back on loop for the whole week and let him watch it. Because that was all you needed to see. That was the same indicative behavior that I saw from him at the end of last season. And it cost us on that title charge last year. We have yet to learn from the same mistakes that we have witnessed and watched. And too many people are confusing people like me, myself, Lee, Kenny, Jez, everybody else saying that, hey, we've got major issues here that are still in place with people are saying, well, you guys don't care about the team. You guys don't care about the club. You're not celebrating the goal. Look, I celebrated the goal. Let me tell you, Jacob, I celebrated last year when Eddie Nketiah backheeled that little tap in to Man United, sliding through the house, jumping up and down, screaming and going on. And then what did that matter at the end of the year? What did it matter? What did that mean? Nothing.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
We have got to go. First off, we need to do it in January. Arsenal Football Club has got to go out and buy a striker. If we do not buy a striker, someone that can score goals, we are done. Because there's no way we can continue on for the next several games, hoping that 29 can come off the bench with headers. I'm telling you today that the assault I've been under today about why we didn't go buck wild over that yesterday. Listen, man, $60 million. If that is the level that we are talking about now, where we're jumping for joy, because the player we're paying £300 a week, £300,000 a week, is doing what he's paid to do like that in a situation that he's $65 million. He's supposed to do that. That's what Chelsea was looking for. That's what Chelsea was paying him for all these years. Now all of a sudden we're supposed to give a pass for that? No, that's what he's supposed to do. And I want to see him do it 10 games in a row. I want to see him do it 5, 6, 7, 8. Eddie Nketiah scored a month ago. Eddie Nketiah scored 3 goals against Sheffield United. They were dancing, spinning, and twisting. What has he done in the last several times he's got on the pitch? What did he do yesterday? I refer to him now as the King of Zamunda. What did the King of Zamunda do? What did he do on yesterday? There was absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We are hanging on for dear life. It is masked. The only reason why this has been tolerated, gentlemen, is because we are up at the top of the table. I asked a question on my channel today. I said, what would the reaction be if we were sitting in 6th, 7th, or 8th place right now with the performances that we put in? People will be questioning people. I watched the game yesterday. If you go look at the crowd before we scored the goal, people were getting antsy. Fans were getting upset. I saw people furious. We were scuffling. Trossard had a goal that was disallowed. But I'm telling you, that game yesterday was not smooth. If I was to tell you to go back and watch Brentford when we played them in the Carabao Cup and watch them yesterday, all you would have had to do is just change the graphics. It was the same exact game that we saw before. We scuffled with them then. We scuffled with them afterwards. I had people in the chat, LB, telling me, Well, this team beat City twice last year. We defeated them at home. So doesn't that account to something? This is the behavior of the modern Arsenal fan that will continue to make us look like complete fools in the footballing world because we are so devoid of success that anything, just anything that falls to the ground, any crumbs that fall to the table, we'll take it. And that's just cool. We're at the top of the table. But guess what? Aston Villa won today, and guess where they are? Right behind us. Spurs are still right behind us. United won today. They're gaining ground quietly. I don't know how they're doing it, but somewhere or another, they're showing back up. Here they come. Liverpool, City, of course, is still there. And I told someone today, I said, if you think City's not going to retool and get some stuff and get sorted out, just in case there's a setback on Kevin De Bruyne, you crazy. You crazy. So this season is going to be a marathon, gentlemen. It's going to be a long a battle this year. And I'm telling people, get ready because this title thing won't even be sorted out to probably April this year because it's so even across the top 10. It's no longer like the top 4 like it used to be. Yeah. It's just everybody it can take a shot at somebody the following week, and it's just going to be a long, hard road. But it's like I was saying about when we were talking about Spurs, they're going through the rough patch now. They're going through it now. It's a matter of when we go through it, how are we going to respond, and are we prepared? Do we have things in place for when it happens? And this is what I try to tell people is that if we go back to the last season, we should put everything in perspective, look at, have we got what we need in case things happen? Let me throw this y'all away, fellas. We've got 4 players that's already in our team that's going to be gone come January. AFCON and the Asian Cup. We've got El Nene's going to be going to AFCON. Okay. Thomas Partey's at AFCON. Tomiyasu's going to the Asian Cup. And then there's somebody else that I'm missing. Somebody in the chat let me know there's somebody else I'm missing there that's going to be gone as well. Partey? But that's I said Partey. Sorry. I can't remember who the 4th person is. But we've got players. Those are players that are going to be gone that, what happens if something happens? So now we're back down to the bare bones players that I've been telling people that we don't have enough signings. We don't have enough signings. What if Saka gets hurt? What if Jesus? He's been hurt off and on all year long. He's been off and on most of his career. He's all in and out. Trossard, in and out. What if Odegaard or somebody gets hurt? So you have to look at this with some sense and go, hey, we've got a few areas we've got to address. Everything is not okay. It's cool we're at the top. It's great that we won a game yesterday. Nobody's discounting that I don't like to be up at the top of the table. But realistically, looking into the months of everybody's on November. Me, I'm on the months of January, February, and March right now. I'm trying to see over that line so that we can get prepared for when we have these players are out. Do we have the players in? Have we identified these players? And are we prepared for when it gets rough? Because January, February, and March historically are some of the toughest months for us. And we've still got to play Liverpool. We've got to play Liverpool twice within a month. People hadn't even thought about it. So, it's a long way to go. Being up at the top of the table is nice. It's cool, but it's nothing to be jumping around and celebrating about at this time.
But enjoy it. I think you should enjoy it. At least for me, I enjoyed it. Maybe I'm a little bit more starved than you are, Gooner.
There you go, right there.
I don't know why I just said Gooner, but Matt. So I am starved. So when I was relaxed with my feet in the pool, I'll tell you what, I did enjoy myself. But, then reality sets in. And unfortunately, I don't have rights to or access to the pool at the Hilton because I'm staying at the Marriott. So there you are. We'll get there one day.
So something that I'd say on Arsenal, right, is I don't like this style that Arsenal playing this year. I preferred the style that they were playing last year. And I agree. All I'm hearing from Arsenal fans is, yeah, but now we have more control. I'll tell you what, I honestly think. I just think you took away your best attribute, which was your speed in which you attacked through the wingers last year, and you slowed it up. I think that And what I've said is I think Arsenal will draw too many games this year. I think you'll struggle to score in some games, maybe get a couple 1-1s, because you don't look like the team. Like last year, every time Arsenal went forward with the wingers, with Saka, Martinelli, you thought you were going to score. Every time they get the ball now, I'm like, they don't know what they're doing. And I think that's been proven. And I know some people don't like expected stats and that, you know what I mean? These sort of stats. But this is a stat called expected points, right? It sort of proves up my point. Arsenal are massively overachieving where they're supposed to be based off of expected points. Now, again, you know, some people don't like that stat. I get it, but I'm just using it as an example to say that I think that Arsenal at the moment are overachieving based on their performances, and I don't think it's sustainable. I think at some point they're going to get caught out. I don't expect them to start losing games, but I think draws are on the cards for sure. And I think draws kill you, because if you look at the title races between Man City and Liverpool, whenever we've beaten them by like a point or something, in every one of those races, we've lost more games than Liverpool, right? But we've won the title because we've won more than they've drawn. Draws are terrible. When you're trying to win a title, draws are terrible. And I'm saying that off the back of 2 in a row. They're not good. You need to be winning matches. And I just think the way that Arsenal are playing right now, Matt, I don't like it. And I'm not saying that because I don't like Arsenal. I'm saying it because it's my truth. I think Arsenal last year had the better system than this year.
Well, LB, I think people don't, you know, I have to break this thing down for people, because they don't, especially our fan base, because they just don't see, they get so excited. They get so excited with the moment. And I have to tell people, when we started this season, let's go back to Forest, the first game. If the gentleman for Forest would have scored his goal, that's a draw. Fulham almost came back. I mean, we've had several games this year. You're talking about these draws. We should have had draws. And that's my biggest concern is because we don't have the goal scoring. I feel like there's going to come a point where we have several games where there's going to be draw, win, draw. And before you know it, you'll look up at the table and wonder, well, how do we go from first to sixth? It's because we cannot get over the line. And we don't, and as you stated about our playing style, yesterday was, Lee and Northside and Ola, it was just so bad. We was just, are we watching what's going on here? There was no fluidity at all. At all. And that was, LB, that was the most attacking lineup we've put out all year. That was the most attacking lineup that we put out all year yesterday. And that's what we got. And this is why I keep telling people, we're skating by the skin of our teeth. If we don't get a striker that can open up things for Saka and Martinelli, and if we don't get a midfielder, a true midfielder, someone that can direct and move the ball and, get the ball move into the channels where it needs to be, we're gonna be in trouble. Declan Rice is running around midfield doing the job of 10 men. That's not what he was brought here for. He was brought to do his job, and occasionally, if the opportunity presents itself, he can go for it, make some stuff happen. But we're counting on him. We're going to burn him out after a while. So I mean, it's the reality of the situation. Is this?
You know what? I've not thought of that, bro. But
yeah,
you're absolutely spot on. You need to be, because you've done it with Saka, and it would not put it past. And by the way, as an Englishman who's going to rely on Declan Rice and Saka probably this summer, you guys need to make sure that you're not burning these guys out, man. Because that's what you've done with Saka. You've done that with Saka.
Yep. And see that now there's this contingent of fans. We're gonna go get Douglas Luiz. No, Aston Villa's not selling their best players and they're sitting in fifth place. Are you crazy? There's no way that's happening. That's not even realistic. So now what Arsenal has to do is they need to be formulating whoever they plan on bringing in January. They need to be doing it now, not in January. They need to be doing it right now.
Are there any rumors? Any rumors of who you
not,
link with?
Not to my knowledge. I hadn't heard anything.
I've not.
I hadn't even begun to start looking to see what's what. But as far as striker wise, Ivan Toney, I don't hear any excuses. I've come up with several scenarios. Players that can leave, money that can get funded. I don't want to hear this about, we can't afford. Nope. We can find $300,000 a week to pay 29. And if we can pay, we can pay all of tag on these extra deals.
Isn't he your
five-year deal? I forgot what we're paying him. but there's money. There's money around. They've given him $700 million over the last several years. So there's money around somewhere for to get. But I just at this stage, y'all, I want people to realize that it's okay to be. We're at the top of the table, but let's not go overboard. Let's not go overboard, and let's not look at the fact that we have gotten out of jail several times this year, and our style of play is not sustainable right now. We're playing the way we're hanging on for dear life. Like when Everton tries to win a game and they win 1-0, that's what we look like. We don't look like the team that's at the top of the table. That's supposed to be, look like definitive. We don't look definitive as a team that will finish at the top of the table. All we look like now is a team that's a placeholder, and we need to get to that next level. So like City. No matter what you thought of that game yesterday, which was a good game, by the way, with you and Liverpool, a draw, at the end, in your psyche, in your mind, that they're going to be lurking. They're going to find a way. They're going to do something. And that is a culture that has been built over that City. It's no matter how, but you don't see any panic here from him. Because he know they've been through this. They've been through this fire over and over. Us too, Jacob. We have to get used to. We got to get used to going through the fire and trying to mentally get ourselves prepared because you don't know where the frailty is going to kick in at. And this is what I try to tell people is that if people always want to go, well, I went with the Real Madrids and the Bayern Munichs of the world and all that. They develop a culture of winning and a high level of expectation to that it's going to seep down into the players, and eventually you're going to see it come to fruition when things get tough. Now you watch when they go on if they go on a 2 or 3 draw streak, watch what happens. They'll fix it, they'll make the adjustments, and that'll be it. But we have got, as Arsenal fans, have got to get out of this habit of over sensationalizing simplicity and get to a level where we can go, okay, that's cool, we won that, but what are we doing to fix these problems that I'm seeing week in and week out? Because it's the same problems. And Wednesday, we play Lawns. Lawns has already beat us in the Champions League. We know they can score. We know they've got men that they're not afraid to take anybody on. And my concern going into the game Wednesday is, are we going to have the same slow starts that we've had the last several weeks? And then now, if we mess around and lose this game Wednesday, then that opens up a whole nother can of worms, because now if one of these two teams beat us and they win their game, guess where we're back at? Back in the Europa League.
Yeah, nah, man. Interesting take. Guys, if you're watching back on replay, make sure you give me your comments down below. I want to know what you guys have to say on what Matt's saying. Do you think Arsenal have enough? And more on the playing style. Do you agree with me that Arsenal's playing style last year was better than what we're currently seeing this year? Or do you think that this more control is the way to go? Let me know down below, and make sure you are smashing the like up, people. For the final part of the show, we've got a few minutes left. I want to speak on City and Liverpool, 2 title players going each other. In fact, before we do, just get this super chatting, because it is about Arsenal. Big up Amar. Says 700 million spent for that dross. Arteta is overrated, from Omar with the super chat. Well, yeah, I think this is for me what I'm saying. If Arsenal don't win the league this year, like, at what point do the people who are still backing Arteta say, well, has he taken us as far as he can? That's the question that I think they need to ask themselves. Luckily, I'm not an Arsenal fan, so I don't need to ask that question. Big up Amar for the super chat. Yeah, let's come on to City and Liverpool. Jacob, what did you make of the game yesterday? Thoughts on the game? Thoughts on the two teams in terms of the title race and where they're both at, bro?
So for me personally, kickoff was at 5:30 a.m. my time. I did not wake up for that. I did catch the last 20 minutes there. And I watched the highlights. Look, I will review the tape of Manchester later on during this week as I try to get myself mentally prepared for Manchester City and give myself an idea of. But I just think, at least from my perspective, Pep Guardiola does a very good job at switching things around enough to give them something different. And I thought that he didn't do that as much as I thought he would versus Liverpool. If I'm honest, I thought Jeremy Doku is a winger that I envy watching. I wish Tottenham Hotspur had that at any level, the quality that he brings on and off the ball. But look, the match, I liked the fact that it was 1-1. I thought the goal that got ruled off. I'm a goalkeeper, so technically, I think that is a foul, and that the goal should be ruled off because when you're at full extension like that, going for a ball over your head, your body's essentially left defenseless. And I thought that I like the rule. The rules are there in place to protect the goalkeepers from such contact. And I was talking to someone else about this, about Liverpool. Like, they were giving some slack to McAllister because he's kind of playing out of position. And to me, I just think that a lot of these matches are going to come down to who can run the midfield better than their opponent. And I thought that for the most part, y'all did it equally as well. I thought Julian Alvarez was a little bit disappointing from what I saw. And look, again, not watching full 90, sitting there watching 90 minutes of it. I got to say that missed opportunities from both sides. I think 1-1 is a little bit spoiling the fun, if I'm honest, because I think if you're Manchester City, you should feel like right now is the time to start turning on the oven. It is time to get to baking the goods that you're going to make, because at some point you have to turn that oven on and let it warm up. And I thought that y'all were starting to do that. And I think, look, Liverpool's also been the dark horses to make a title run this year. So maybe it is a little bit of a fair result from a Liverpool standpoint, because they're saying, hey, look, we went toe-to-toe with you. We shared the blushes and or shared the honors, however way you want to look at it. And I think that they should be overall happy with it, but not pleased that their squad was unable to really see out the match. And I mean, hey, it'll be a different story, I think, when they play at Anfield. I'll put it that way.
What, you think City will win at Anfield? Or
No, I think Liverpool should be able to give it a better run for their money.
Oh, okay.
Against City. I just think City, there's I mean, I'm not trying to read in too much to what Pep Guardiola is saying, but y'all have really failed to build that atmosphere. Based on what I'm hearing from the manager, that he's not hearing the kind of response from the crowd that he would like to hear. And I think...
Yeah, look, I'm not going to make excuses, right? But all I'd say is 12:30 kickoffs, you're never going to get a good atmosphere at 12:30 kickoff. Add to that, it's fucking 0 degrees. Add to that, both sets of fans are getting emails saying, don't say this, don't say that, don't do this, don't say that. Listen, City are selling tickets for 300 quid. They're not exactly helping the situation. But I agree. Obviously, a better atmosphere helps the players. But listen, I'm really content in where we are. It's quite interesting because Matt isn't too happy at the moment with how the team's playing and the belief and the top of the league. Whereas we're not top of the league, but I'm actually really content. I believe that to be where we are, with Kevin De Bruyne having played 20 minutes for us all season, with John Stones playing, I think someone in the chat can correct me, but maybe 4 or 5 Premier League games, if that. Rodri missing 2 Premier League games with suspension. Gvardiol being integrated into the squad. Jeremy Doku being integrated with the squad. We've lost Ilkay Gundogan. We've lost Riyad Mahrez. We've downgraded our midfield to Kovacic. Yet we're only a point or whatever behind Arsenal, and I'm really content with actually where we are. I still think there's work to do. I'd like us to see us get a player in January, but I'm kind of happy, man. Champions League is going well. We're at the top of our group. Big game against Leipzig on Tuesday, but I'm sort of pretty happy with where we are. And Matt, I want to hear what you have to say on that, because it might be interesting for you to hear me say that, obviously. And what do you think about me saying that about my club? Like, what's your views?
No, I don't think, because see, you've been in this situation so many times, LB, to where you know that the adjustments are going to get made. I mean, y'all have a track record of making the adjustments. And as I stated before, you're going to buy. I'm pretty positive y'all are going to buy in January, because realistically, it's time to start looking for life after Kevin De Bruyne. He's getting up in age. Most times, y'all tend to go get your players and bring them. You're going to either bring them in, or you're going to either buy them and they'll stay where they are, and then they'll come in. But y'all are going to start making the adjustments. I'm pretty I believe that y'all are going to buy just kind of get everything stabilized so that y'all can just go full front along towards the end of the season and then go on one of those 15, 18 game streaks that y'all normally go on. And it's no different than last year. Where were you all at last year? Y'all was behind us most of the year. It's the same thing. Y'all was sitting back there, just sitting. And before you knew it, it was like 3 here, 3 there, 3 here, 3 there. Arsenal dropped 2 here, 3 there, 3 there. And before you know it, whoop, there you go. It's the tortoise catching the hare. And so when you look at a team like City, I mean, let's just take it for what yesterday what it was. Man, a draw against Liverpool is always a good thing, especially you just never know what you get when you play Liverpool, which is why that game last year played a massive part in why we ended up not winning the title last year, is because we could not seal the deal. So when you have opportunity for 3 points against Liverpool, especially late into the season, and you don't do it, and that's a different ball game. First half of the season, considering everything that y'all have gone through, and I didn't even realize y'all had that many players out, then yeah, y'all are fine, man. Just to be one off the top, yeah, it's no need of panicking, man. Like I said, y'all are gonna go out, y'all will make the adjustments in January. January basically starts a clean slate, starts a new season, and that's gonna be it. As long as you don't get any more crazy injuries, you're fine. So yeah, I expect y'all to be in contention most of the year. And yesterday's game was good. And also, I want to touch on Liverpool, because we get ready to see them in a couple of weeks. And I told Tony Clark Gunner, we talked this morning on the phone before we did our show this morning. We did a show prep, and so I was telling him, I said, well, did you watch Gravenberch run right through Manchester City's midfield yesterday before that goal? And he said, yeah, I saw it. I said, that's what scares me about when we play teams that are more competent than we are, because they know how to do the things that we don't know how to do. They can execute it. It's the same difference when I watched Tottenham today. When I watched them play Aston Villa, there were several times y'all should have scored there, Jacob. But if y'all make things look much more easier than we do, even Aston Villa, pass up the pitch, boom, shot on goal. With us, it's go for it, pass back, sideways, go for it, come back sideways, give it to the goalkeeper. He makes a mess of it. Everybody gasping for air, hoof it up top, lose the ball, transition back again. Oh, let's go down. We'll cross the ball in from 40 yards up the pitch and hope that Jesus, who is can head the ball in. You know, it's silly stuff. The things that other teams do well, we struggle to do. And this is how I know that we're going to have problems down the line. Our set pieces. This is something that's not being brought up. Why does it take us so long to do set pieces? Why does it take Arsenal 10 years to do a corner kick? Has anybody ever sat down and watched how long it takes us to do throw in?
Don't talk to me about corners, bro. Don't talk to me about corners.
Throw-ins and just simple stuff. It's these are the fine details that separate champions from chumps. And this is why I tell you, LB, you guys have nothing to worry about. The only way I would be concerned is if y'all get a couple of more bad injuries. And then from there, after the January transfer window, or if y'all run into this issue again in February or March, then y'all might have a problem. But for right now, because it's just the beginning of the season, nah, I don't see it being an issue, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd like to see us get someone else in January, get someone who can create a little bit more in January.
Can I ask you a question, LB? What do you think you all need? What do you think you all need?
What? In January?
In January, yeah.
I'd like us to see if we can get like a midfielder that can create, but could also at a push play on the wing. So actually someone like Lucas Paqueta from West Ham, who can play in the midfield, can create, but in a bad situation, maybe we've got a bit of an injury crisis, or maybe tactical, he could also play like right wing, and hold the width for us if we absolutely need him to. So Lucas Paqueta, I think, would be amazing for us, but I don't think we're going to get him in. I don't think you're going to be able to get him out of West Ham in January. But that's who I'd like. But I don't think you're going to be able to get him in January. They're doing quite well in the league. They're in Europa League. They're going to qualify for the knockout rounds. That's going to be very difficult to get him out of there. So, but he's what I'd like. He's what I'd like.
Jacob, let me ask you too.
Yeah,
What because I posed this question to somebody today and they thought I was crazy. I said, you don't think if the money's right, man, Spurs could have a look in on Ivan Tony?
I could see a world in where that is relevant. Look, when Brentford came up from the championship, I remember we were still at a juncture at Tottenham Hotspur where we said, we don't have a Harry Kane backup. If Harry Kane misses any time, who's our backup striker? We don't have one. We did Carlos Vinicius on loan. And then we ended up, getting Richarlison in the last couple of years. And I, for one, always saw the profile of Ivan Toney similar to the profile of Harry Kane. He's just a little bit more pacey. But he's got the power. He's got the passing ability. He will drop back and defensively be able to win you possession and hold up possession if you should need it. I love the profile of striker. That is, like, to me, I mean, that's the type of striker I love, which is a Harry Kane style of striker. And I think Ivan Toney possesses a lot of those same strengths in his game and could even potentially, like, he's got more pace than Harry Kane, and that's the one thing that people could really take the piss out of Harry Kane. That and free kicks. Free kicks are his Megan Fox's thumbs, is what I call them, because Megan Fox is this specimen, but she's got these thumbs, and people made fun of her thumbs, and that's Harry Kane. He's got everything so beautiful, so great, but then you see his free kicks, and it's like, wow. But Ivan Toney, for me anyway, I would love that signing. I don't think that Heung-min Son is done as a left winger. A lot of Spurs fans said, oh, well, he's got X amount of goals and X amount of games as a number 9. That's it. He's at that stage in his career where it's time to move on to your next thing, which is he doesn't have the pace. He can't beat people one-on-one. I think that's just false. This season, he did prove that wrong, that he does still have the pace as a left winger, that he can beat a man with the ball. It's just a matter of being asked to do that in this system. So if we got an out-and-out striker, Son could then move back to the left wing spot, which if my memory serves me correct, and I know that it does because I say this on reference this a few times, Son as a left winger in the first 3 matches had 5 big chances created, meaning he passed the ball to Richarlison in precarious areas 5 times in which Richarlison could not score. That's not Son's fault he doesn't have 5 assists. That's Richarlison's. So people get a little bit like, well, he didn't do what's his GA as a left winger? Well, he didn't do shit. Oh, well, he's only scoring as a number 9. It's real simplistic views on this. But for me, I would love an Ivan Toney. Don't get it wrong. I would not say no to an Ivan Toney. He would improve our front line immensely. But even still, maybe a dual-headed striker of Son and Toney up top working together like a Harry Kane and a Son could be that thing. Because Kulusevski, again, is just not the guy for me. When we're talking about City, I think of Doku. I dream of a Doku. I watch Crystal Palace as well. I dream of an Elite on the right. But look. I starts Googling Megan Fox. That's the only thing you can say against her, man. The only thing you can say. And then maybe Machine Gun Kelly, but that's neither here nor there. I think that Ivan Toney, I would hate to see him go to Chelsea. I would hate to see him go to Arsenal. Same thing with Osimhen. But at least Toney, we've seen it at the Premier League level. He can bag you goals. He can, in an average squad, elevate them to being slightly above average. So if he could do that with Brentford, there's no doubt that he could come in and Tottenham and improve our score. We cannot score. Heung-min Son is the best finisher that we have. That is why he is the number 9. But if you get Toney in, you could say, hey, in and around the box, Toney may be the better finisher. We could see. That's at least something to view. At this juncture, there's no one in this squad that I know for a fact can finish better than Son inside the box. So that's why he's the number 9. But I think Son can score from all angles of the pitch, left foot, right foot. He does it for his national team. He's done it for us. Lest you remember LB week 1 under the Nuno Espirito Santos, Heung-min Son off the left foot, outside the box. Curler, what a wondrous goal. I'll take a 1-0 next week. I'll tell you what. I know you didn't ask, but there you go.
Yeah, didn't ask. I think Toney, because I'm going to wrap up now because I know you got a show, Jacob. I think Toney for any top team would be an amazing signing. And I think for Arsenal, what that does is that frees up Jesus to play anywhere across that front line. And Arsenal fans then are going to see Jesus play on the wings, yeah? But I'm telling you now, he's a better winger than he's a striker. And he's a damn good winger.
I agree.
This is the thing. You guys have not seen him there play that consistent. I've seen him play there in big games and perform at a very high level. He's a better winger than he's a striker. If you get Toney in, that's not the end of Jesus as a striker. He can be the backup striker. Eddie can leave. But then you can have Jesus as the rotational player can cover for Saka. And actually, it'll be
With
interesting to see
Embuemo, he
how-
was doing that very well, LB. With Embuemo last year, Tony was doing very great. Like I said, dropping into those spaces and creating that service line to Embuemo to just run in behind. I could see him doing that with Son. Why can't we do that?
Jacob and LB, that's the only reason why Brentford didn't win that game yesterday was that Ivan Toney didn't play. Had Ivan Toney played yesterday, we lose. We get blown away. We would have got blown away yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're correct. And you're correct about Jesus. I personally, because my girlfriend's Brazilian, so I watch Brazil all the time. He needs to be on the outside anyway, because he can't. He said it himself. He can't score as a straight striker, but outside on the wing, yeah, he can create all kinds of chaos. And then if you bring Ivan Toney in, then you got what I like to call a hybrid attacking where everybody can move around, which makes it very hard. And then you open up your attack. So,
Yeah. No, I agree. 100%. Boys, smashed it. Another America Dream show completed. Matt, what are you doing on the channel, man? You got anything coming up on the Southern Gooner channel?
no, I did a show earlier. If you go about me, Tony Clark Gunner, Monty, Darren Sullivan, and Static, we all did a show earlier today on my channel where we discussed yesterday's game. And the only thing I've got coming up this week is I'll be linking up with Brother Lee on Wednesday for the watch along, the Champions League watch along launch the game. So that'll be it for this week for me.
Well, big up for coming on. Link is in the description, guys, for Matt Southern Gooner. I know a lot of you in the comments like what he had to say. Jacob, you're going live right now. What are you talking about? I'm going to guess you're speaking about today's game.
It's going to be, let's get some therapy in. I'm going to bring all the Tottenham Hotspur fans together. We're going to hug each other. We're going to make each other feel better, go through some things that the gaffer said post-match, hopefully bring some. I try to always sprinkle as much positive dust on a situation as I can. There's obviously 3 L's on the bounce, looking at 4, staring down the barrel of 4, technically. It's not a lot to be positive about, but there are some things that I do want to touch on. Got just doing my daily thing, highlighting some things on the Twitterverse that, a lot of people don't want to be on Twitter. It's a cesspool. So I try and, do my best gold miner impression and just sift through the bullshit and find the gold. And you know what? We'll make it through this point. I think Matt made a really good point that everyone faces crisis modes in different fashions and forms, and it's all about how you cope with it. I think we have the right mentality to cope with it. We just don't have the right support system. We don't have the right foundation to cope with it at this juncture. But you got to start somewhere, and I think once we get the mentality right, we've known the infrastructure at Tottenham Hotspur has been poor. I know you asked me about the channel, and somehow I rambled back into Tottenham Hotspur and the overall outlook of my club, but hey, that's what I do over there. So you can come find me, United Spurs America, going live here shortly. We are, if anyone wants to be a superstar, 14 subs away from the big 3K, which also big up LB for the 10K. Big up.
Thank you, bro.
Saw that
Thank
this
you,
morning.
bro.
Congratulations.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, go check out Jacob. He's going live in a minute. He's got a great introduction video, man. So go check it out. I love it. I love it a lot. But for myself, Jacob, and Matt Southern Gooner, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. I will catch you next week. See you later.